Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? It has been a while since we've had something in Genshin Impact to be excited about, but finally we do. MiHoYo finally dropped their 1.5 announcement trailer, so we have a whole bunch of new features and new content and new characters that we have to talk about. The first one, of course, being Eula. Thank God we can finally talk about Eula. Eula was leaked weeks ago, and it was like right at the beginning of when MiHoYo started cracking down on leaks. And I've wanted to talk about this character for a while. This is one of my most anticipated characters, easily. The other characters that have come out, sure, I was excited about them, but this one has a special place in my heart. So, Eula, fantastic. First of all, looks-wise, she looks great. Yeah, so she's like one of the Knights of Favonius, but she's old-timey, not really like one of the knights. I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about the story. People give me crap all the time because I don't know a lot about the story, but whatever. Point is, I mean, you saw her, right? She looks great. Now, in terms of her actual kit, basically, she's like a step above your Razor. So she's a Claymore user. She's a Cryo user. She does a lot of physical damage. And by a lot, I mean a lot. So let's jump in here real quick and take a look at her actual kit and what we can come to expect with her. So first up, the thing that we need to get excited about is that she scales with crit damage. I'm seeing kind of a recurring theme here that a lot of the 5 stars we're getting are scaling with crit. And, you know, it makes sense. Crit is one of the best stats in the game, whether it's rate or damage. Of course, we have damage here, so stacking crit rate is going to be pretty important since she already has some crit damage. But in looking at her stats, she is actually second in terms of overall base attack, falling shortly behind Zhao and above Diluc. But in terms of defense, she's also quite good. But again, a little bit behind Zhao, but she still does have pretty good defense. And that's going to come up later when we take a look at her skill. But, you know, her attack, pretty basic. Her attack, now it looks really good. Her basic attack combo, looks really good. I really like the animation, especially your little, like, flip she does. Looks fantastic. Now her skill is quite interesting. So basically this is like a best of both worlds. It makes her a little bit tankier, but it can also make her do more damage. So basically the way this works is you're gonna either press it or hold it. If you press it, she's gonna gather up some Grim Hearts based on the amount of time she hits enemies, up to 2 times. And now I'm assuming that you can stack these. Her cooldown is only like 4 seconds. It's really short, actually extremely short. So this is gonna hit really hard. So basically, you stack up these Grim Hearts. When you stack up a couple, you're going to get some defense bonuses. And then when you hold it, she's basically going to do a bigger attack and burn off whatever Grim Hearts you have, which is going to cause your enemies, whoever you hit, to have their physical and cryo resistance reduced. So basically, you go from that tanky aesthetic to that more damage-oriented aesthetic. Really kind of interesting. You know, I actually didn't realize that this was part of her kit. I thought it was just the added resistances down. But the fact that she can kind of play tank for herself is kind of interesting. I like the idea of the duality because she is a knight, and you know, knights are trained in both defense and offense, so it makes sense that she would have a little bit of defense built into her kit. But then we get to her burst, and this burst is where I know people are gonna shout about power creep. Now, I don't really want to get into a whole power creep discussion here because we're trying to be excited. We're not trying to be all upset about, you know, this power creep thing. But in my perspective, if there is not a need to have this character, power creep doesn't matter. So because you're still going to be able to clear all the content in this game without Eula, who cares if some people have a very powerful unit? It'll just make it so that the content is easier for them. And quite honestly, there's less of a grind and less of a challenge. So looking at this burst, what does it do? Well, you go ahead and burn it, and it deals a whole bunch of damage. That's the first number you're going to see, the skill damage. But then what also happens is there's a light, a light fall sword that's going to be generated. And basically at the end of a certain amount of time, based on what these numbers are, and I should also note that these numbers are not final. These are leaked numbers. So the numbers may or may not change. Just heads up, I'll put a little warning in the video as well before, so that way you guys know these aren't final numbers or anything. But the skills are what they should be, and these are what they announced on the stream. So basically, once the duration of this Lightfall Sword ends, whether that be from her dying, her switching, or the duration just ends, there's going to be explosion, and that is the second number you see. So as we can see, this is scaling quite high because already at level 6, you're talking 800% damage just from those two things. But there's another instance of damage where while this Lightfall Sword is up, basically every instance of damage she does, either from her normal attack, her skill, or another burst, which can't actually do because it'll be on cooldown, but they included that anyway. It's going to add on these stacks. What do they actually call them here? It's damage stacks. My brain not working. Come on. Okay. Basically, anyway, you're gonna add on stacks, and when these stacks are added, they're increasing your damage of the explosion per stack. So if you look at level 6, you're getting an extra 93, almost 94% damage per stack. Now, depending on how long that this Lightfall Sword actually follows her around, let's say you get 5 hits in, let's say you get 3 hits in, you're talking an additional 300% damage on top of your already 800% damage. That's on a level 6 talent. That is nuts level of damage. Now, let's say the duration is like 10 seconds, and you go ahead, you increase her attack speed a little bit, and she's able to get like 10 hits. That's an extra 1000% damage. Those are some crazy high, crazy numbers. Now, this is why you're going to hear, I'm predicting a lot of videos in the future talking about power creep, because that's what's going to happen every time these new videos come out, these new characters come out. Look, I'm pumped. It's a new character to play with. It's a new skill set. It's a new character to figure out what her best build is and just get absurdly big numbers, especially if you pair this with like Superconduct or, you know, God forbid Bennett, like there. And that's not even including her weapon, which we'll get into real quick. But then, of course, you know, we have her passive talents. This is basically, so if 2 stacks are consumed upon unleashing the hold mode of her skill, a light sword remnant will be created, which will explode immediately, dealing 50% physical damage. And then you also have her normal attacks, scoring crits are going to lower her cooldown by 0.3 seconds, but her cooldown is already so short that it, honestly, you're barely going to notice it. And of course, there are constellations. Honestly, her constellations are some of the best I've seen across the board. I'll put them up here for a second. If you guys don't know what the site is, this is Honey Impact, so you can see everything there if you just go to Honey Impact's site. I'm not really going to go over these in this video just because I have a feeling a lot of people aren't necessarily going to go for constellations, especially people that might be going for Zhongli. Like, there's a lot of really good banners right now. So yeah, you can take a look at those. But her weapon, guys, this weapon I feel like is so good. Now, again, this might change before release, okay? So don't hold me to this information. So this Claymore, all right, has physical damage, first of all. That's already insanely good. Getting physical damage bonuses on this girl is going to be insane because all her skills do physical damage. It's going to be nuts. But let's read this wall of text, this Yu-Gi-Oh card of a weapon. So a part of millennial movement that wanted... Wait. Okay, this is the part that matters. Increases attack by 16%. So flat 16% attack increase, already super good. And when a normal or charged attack hits the opponent, the character gains a sigil of whispers. This effect can be triggered once every 0.3 seconds, which I'm assuming is going to be once every hit for her. When you possess 4 sigils, all of them will be consumed, and all nearby party members will obtain the Millennial Movement Banner Hymn effect for 12 seconds. This hymn increases normal attack speed by 12%, increases attack by 20%, and once this effect is triggered, you will not gain sigils of whispers for 20 seconds of the many effects. So basically, once every 20 seconds, you can get an additional attack speed and attack boost. Now that's already insane, right? Because if we're building physical damage, I mean, we're getting more attack, but the bigger thing is attack speed. You know, if you're at all familiar with Razor, or, you know, I at one point was a Razor main, I've kind of fallen off now, but one of the biggest reasons why he was good is because he got so much attack speed with his burst. Crazy, you get massive crits. So with this, getting that attack speed is going to be super important. But what also is nutty about this weapon, if this is the case, that it has base 49 base attack, and it brings you to 741. What? Guys, Skyward Harp is pretty nutty because it has one of the highest base attacks in the game. If this goes up to 49, we are going to see some real big numbers from this weapon. Let me tell you, there's going to be people who figure out had to pump the burst up like crazy. But yeah. This weapon is nutty, and Eula is quite nutty. In fact, she's gonna be pretty sweet. But guys, let me know what you think of Eula and of her new weapon down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Now that we can openly talk about her, thank God. I've been pent up for so long, guys. You don't even know. But that's all I got for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see more content from me, you can head over, well, right here and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell. That way you never miss a video. Of course, if you do want to talk about Eula or any 1.5 stuff or just anything in general, head over to my Discord. Discord link will be down in the description below. But guys, that's all I got for today. Hopefully you did enjoy. I'll see y'all in the next video.